Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Celebrity Challenge, and I've run out of hats. Interesting hats, anyway. Today's episode is Return to Halloweentown. We're almost done with my entire run of 1 week of Halloween-themed episodes for content that's on Disney Plus. There's actually, if you go to the search page, there's a block that you can select that shows all the different Halloween stuff. That is available on Disney Plus right now, and yeah, like I said, I ran out of hats, and so I chose what seemed to be pretty appropriate. You recognize these buns? Yeah, well, the woman who originated this hairstyle, her mother appears in the Halloweentown movies. Unfortunately, in this one, she only appears in a very short cameo. But Debbie Reynolds, mother of Carrie Fisher, who's Princess Leia. So in case you're not putting that all together and you're like, okay, that guy's just weird. Well, this is why I'm wearing it. It's for Debbie through Carrie, who had a birthday last week, but is unfortunately no longer with us. But anyway, neither of them are no longer with us. If you know that story, it's pretty sad, but it's, they're there. I'm not going to go on about that because we're going to talk about Return to Halloweentown. This is the fourth and apparently final episode film in the series. We have Halloweentown, Halloweentown 2, Calabazar's Revenge. I'm saying that wrong. I know it is. Halloweentown High, and now Return to Halloweentown. But there's some changes. There is a number of changes. This is from 2006, by the way. 2006. It's an hour and 29 minutes. And we got a different Marnie. Mary, oh man, I've already forgotten her name, but the new girl is Sarah Paxton, plays Marnie in this one. When I realized it's a different girl and not just like, oh, well, she grew up and she just, like, her face changed or whatever, you know, people, like, kids look a certain way and then they grow up and they look a different way. I'm not like that intimate with the whole Halloweentown saga or the actors, so I thought maybe it might have been she just sort of, she's 18 in this. I don't know. I figured maybe that it was just a little bit different. So no, it's a completely different actress. Come on. I totally, my brain, Halloweentown. Let's go. I'm gonna get her name because it's Kimberly J. Brown. Of course, Mary Jo. Kimberly J. Brown was the young woman who played Marnie through the first three films, and they brought in Sarah Paxton, who does a great job as Marnie. I know in my research, I realized there's a lot of people who are haters on her because she took her job, Kimberly's job, and there's a little bit of controversy in the sense that, Kimberly's not even really sure why she wasn't brought back for the fourth film. Yeah, a little bit of controversy here and there, and there's no beef, there's no bad blood between the two girls or anything. It's really comes down to Disney making some decisions that not everybody was, I guess, cool with, or they're now cool with it because whatever, I don't know. But anyway, we get a new girl. We got a new girl playing Marnie, and of course she's old enough to go to college, and that's where she's going. She's going to college though in Halloweentown, as one would if your movie series has Halloweentown at its core. By the way, this just feels like Harry Potter the college years in a number of different ways. And there's no shortage of pop culture references throughout this. There is a Spider-Man reference. There is a Star Wars reference. There is a Superman 2 reference. There is... there's no direct Harry Potter reference except for, the wizard school. Although in this, she discovers pretty quickly that when she gets there, she is not, nobody's allowed to use magic at the school. Yeah, it makes no sense. But there's there's reasons, and it also saves on budget. So, even though there's a lot of really low budget special effects scenes throughout this, that, hey, it's a TV movie. Deal with it. It's just the way it is. You got so much money to spend, and you're gonna do the best you can with what you got. So, and kids who this is focused on tend to not be too judgmental. Like, oh, that's a little, that seems fake. Like, no, they're there to enjoy the story, the characters they love, the world that they've created. And yeah, Halloweentown has a pretty big, following. It has a pretty devoted fan base. And a friend of mine actually is from that area where they originally filmed this. I don't know if they filmed this somewhere different in this last one, because they had to build a castle or a large stone-like structure that is treated as the university. I don't know if that university is in that town, but yeah, I'm sure some people out there know much better than I do. Anyway, we get Marty going to school, and guess what? Dylan, her brother, ends up going with her. He's so smart. He skipped a grade, and he gets to go to school, even though he's a little brother. They go to school at the new college the same year, and I guess he's just smart enough that he earned it rather than being given a scholarship because of her name. Yes, the Cromwell name has some weight to it. And again, this is where the Harry Potter similarities come from. You're part of a legendary family name. There's part of a whole mythos there. You kind of get treated a little bit differently, a little bit special. You feel like a normal person. And of course, there's going to be bullies that have a snake. They're sinister. Their last name is Sinister. Like, oh, who would have thought those people would go bad? Like, I want to see people last name Sinister, and they're like the nicest people in the world. Just like so sweet. That's never going to happen. You gotta be on brand with that kind of thing. So you get these three girls who are the queens of mean, three sisters. Apparently triplets, even though they don't really look exactly alike. I don't know. But yeah, they're mean, they're bossy, they think they're the hottest thing in the world, and of course they're mean to Marnie, because that's what you gotta do. I realize I really kind of wish that Disney and any other teen or young teen or kids going to school story, I wish people who are making these kind of stories would stop with the obvious, overarching, just bully theme. Yes, there's bullies, and there should be stories about dealing with bullies. That's not a problem. I have no problem with that. It's just everything is just so overly cliche in how they present these characters. It's exhausting. And yes, you look at just half the teen shows on Disney Plus. Teen movies, teen shows, there's always somebody who is a jerk for no reason. But the reason always comes down to that they feel inferior themselves, and it reflects in how they treat others, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it happens, and it's awful, and it reflects real life in many ways, but so much so I'm thinking, I don't know if it works like this anymore. Maybe in the 80s or 90s, the 2000s, I don't know, but are kids really this cartoonishly evil to the nice kids? I mean, is that a thing that happens anymore? Yes, people are absolute jerks and self-absorbed and obnoxious about it, but really? I don't know. I think I look great in these, by the way. I think one bun is bigger than the other, though. This one's kind of small. I gotta balance these. I don't think I've worn this thing in like 6 years. I got this a year after Carrie died, and yeah, got it for me. Yeah. It came with the slave bikini top and bottom, but that doesn't make sense. I only realize that now. I didn't wear that part. Nobody wants to see that. I bought it just for the buns. But look how small this one is. Just disappears. Anyway, I bought it for the whole thing, and I realized, why would they sell this hair with the slave bikini, the Hut Slayer outfit from Return of the Jedi? She didn't have this hair in Return of the Jedi. Anyway, Return to Halloweentown, and it's making me itchy. By the way, it's not just the kids that are overly evil, just expressively evil, cartoonishly evil. The adults just chew the scenery, especially their one main villainous type teacher, you know. And yes, if you go into school and you're going to find out that you're going to be rebelling against the power structure there, yeah, everybody's in on it. It's just, I know I spoiled it right there, I know, but you kind of had to see this coming. And there's not a whole lot of surprises in this. There is a mystery, but you kind of see it all coming. Just saying, maybe this one's loose. That's why it's bigger. I don't know. But yeah, so we get Mom is given a storyline because she's not going off to college, but she's still part of the show. Joan Hogue. I went to Hog. Why would I say that? Judith Hogue. Judith Hogue. And by the way, everybody in this, I think, used to be on soap operas. I think Judith Hogue was on this. I think I remember seeing her on a soap opera a long time ago. I could be wrong. But she is great comedically, and I think I've said this in other episodes about the Halloweentown series. She's one of my favorite parts of the series because she has great comedic timing, and she's given a storyline without the kids around, and she sort of has to play the empty nester, the doting single mom who needs to keep herself busy. And so every once in a while she checks in the kids by, you know how they communicate, like in pools of water? Like, I'm looking into I'm talking to Grandma in the pot of soup, you know, or at different points you see her communicating with the kids. You don't know where she's talking into. At one point, she's screaming into a toilet. Like, she's just on her knees, just talking into a toilet to her children. And this becomes extra, you know, if this is at your own home alone by yourself, that's one thing. But in order to keep herself busy in her empty nest, she decides to get a job. And apparently she just magic up a realtor's license out of nowhere. Maybe she had that before, I have no idea. But she has a realtor's license in the next scene after the kids go away. And she starts showing houses and, like, messing with, like, physics. Like, when the people are like, oh, this house is too small, it's only a 2-bedroom. And all of a sudden she just waves her hand and it becomes a 3-bedroom. Like, it transforms behind the people and they don't realize this. And also zoning laws, I don't know, I mean, or whatever. I mean, what about the people outside are just like, that house just grew another room, what's going on? And honestly, when she did that, only the living room got bigger. It's not like an extra bedroom showed up. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm being nitpicky. But, so yeah, you get these things, like, so somebody ought to rake the lawn. One of the customers or whatever, people checking out the house, is kind of a jerk. And she just messes with nature, and she just throws the leaves back up at the tree and they turn green. I'm just like, oh no, that's... Dr. Strange is going to be telling you there's a price for magic, and you're really messing with stuff here. Scarlet Witch is going to be nothing compared to Mom soon. Anyway, there's her bits are funny, and I think she's great. So, but of course the main story is on Marnie and Dylan, and of course there's Ethan. I think the cute boy that was in Halloweentown High, or I don't know when he was. Maybe he was always with the series. I don't know, but he. I don't know. There's a growing romance between her and with Marnie and Ethan, and it's, you know, it's there to draw in the young teen, preteen audience in these ways. We get Millicent Martin, who basically stands in for Debbie Reynolds as sort of an elder magic user, matriarch kind of person in this story. We do see, like I said, we do see Debbie Reynolds in the very beginning of the film for a very one scene, and she didn't even have to be in the room with anybody else because she's in a pot of soup. And that's unfortunate. I was hoping that she would show up again, but her absence is kind of required for this story to work. Won't ruin that part, but you'll figure it out pretty quick. Millicent Martin, she's a teacher at the school, and she gets to use magic, even though they're not supposed to, but she's like, I don't care what anybody says. Man's not going to keep me down. And she looks like Debbie Reynolds. She acts like Debbie Reynolds' character in the movie. Not Debbie Reynolds herself. But, so, yeah, even one of the characters, I think Dylan even says, she reminds me of Grandma, like, dead on. So, yeah, it's... The movie, the people who wrote this were very aware of what they were making. And the humor comes through really well. Again, yeah, it's not complex, high-level humor. This is made for children, and it's very wholesome in how it's presented. But there's just little bits here and there that caught my eye that I was like, you know what, that is a more sophisticated joke, or it has better delivery than it should have been expected for a movie at this level. So, way to go to the people who made this film. Yeah, it's not going to be held to your heart the same way the original is. That's okay. It's all right. They were just trying to tell another story with the characters you love, even if not all the actors were there. But, you know, I guess you can't have it all. I don't know. So, I could have used more Debbie Reynolds, but, well. Yeah, and it's a good fun time, I guess. It's not the kind of thing, if somebody was going to tell me, oh my gosh, you got to make sure you see Halloweentown 4, I'd be like, no, I don't need to see that. Maybe Halloweentown. And then maybe the sequels, but this would be the last. But yeah. What do you think if they brought back, if they had Halloweentown: The Next Generation? What do you think? Who should come back as Marnie? Should they both come back as Marnie? I don't know. I think Sarah Paxton did a fantastic job in the role, taking on this role that obviously has a strong fan base, but it's I don't think they're going to be doing any more of these, as far as I can tell, unless they do a Next Generation thing. But we'll see. Okay, that's the end of that. Tomorrow's Halloween, so I have picked something that is very Disney and very Halloween. It is kind of a tradition amongst my friends, and they kind of raised their kids on it, even when it wasn't Halloween. It's one of the first cartoons they would play for them, and the kids dance along with it. You know what that might be. It's the skeleton dance. It's a classic, vintage, Disney, black and white Disney animated short, making my Halloween easy. It's a Disney animated Halloween short, The Skeleton Dance, and that's what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with, well, not with these. I gotta fix my hair. Anyway, see you back here tomorrow.